Hello, everybody. Welcome along to another episode of the full-time show here on the TurfCast podcast YouTube channel, who now have 1,000 subscribers. Woo! Woo! Woo!
Well done, Joe.
Woo! Woo! There you go. I was taking too long, so I was trying to find that fucking comment. I couldn't find it, so I just prolonged the woo. But yes, thank you. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. And if you are already subscribed, just hit the like button for this live now before we go into a depression, because we might go into a depression during this chat. Tottenham 1, Burnley 0. My thoughts: we were unlucky. We played very, very well. The new system of 5-3-2 worked defensively. We played very well defensively. Lovely shorts, Wes. But forward again, but it's the same thing. It don't matter what system it is. We just don't have enough bite up front at the minute. I just think that was the same. Would they have scored against us today without a dodgy penalty?
Well, it's a good comment. And my Spurs friend Mark has just literally commented saying dodgy penalty. And he's a Spurs
I said that at the time, didn't I? I said that at the time. I don't think they'd have scored that today. Well, they didn't. Obviously, they had to get a penalty, but I don't think they'd have scored against us today. Obviously, goals change games, so they obviously wouldn't have pushed as much in the last 10-15. Sorry, would have pushed more in the last 10-15 if they didn't get that penalty. But they would not have scored against us today. So for me, that says that system worked defensively. So yeah, I would potentially play the same against Villa. But what are your thoughts on the match?
Yeah, I said it on the on TikTok, didn't I, when we were live, that I'm looking at it, I'm very happy with the setup. I weren't sure, obviously, about Matt Lawton playing centre half. He's never done that before for Burnley, but it was almost like, I made the comment, didn't I, to you, that it was almost like a quarterback role. He was kind of dropping in and sort of directing the play, but then dropping back from the defensive side of it. It was good. I really enjoyed it. But again, I don't know if you play Vout up top. I don't know if you play Barnes up top. But if we had an availability of Jay Rodriguez, I think he walks in that squad.
Yeah, Vout and Jay up top for me. I've said that for a long time. I just think it works better. We still question marks.
The three, though?
No. He's been frustrating me for the last few weeks with Corney. I'm not going to lie to you. He's obviously, in terms of technical ability, better than anyone we've got, or one of the best. But recently, he's been frustrating me. And he frustrated me again today. There were so many times where he just makes bad decisions, and he was doing it again today. Is that harsh?
No, I don't think so, mate. I've got a sort of criticism of him being too slow, in my opinion. I think that he almost wants the attention too much sometimes, and I think that he doesn't play for the team, and it seems to be apparent with both the new signings, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I think with that, I don't think it's a case of not playing for the team in Valt's case. His attitude clearly isn't great. Getting subbed off all the time and kicking off. So he might have an argument there on that, but I don't know. I think he does play for the team because he comes short. He's like a striker, isn't he? But comes short. Whereas Corney, I just feel like he just wants, like Jake Moore says, the decision making isn't there, and that's exactly what I mean. I just think he's just not intelligent enough when it comes to being an absolute footballer. He's just not intelligent enough. He just makes the wrong decision, and like you said, he's playing for himself. So that's probably because he's making decisions based on himself rather than based on the team.
Yeah, I've got a Leeds game on my right-hand side, so if you do see me looking up there, that's what I'm watching.
I've got it on my I said I was going to watch it.
Leeds are getting, they've had a let-off, really, as well, by the way, just in there. Solly March missed a sitter. But yeah, what we're going to say. So yeah, I do think he plays for himself. I do think he's almost, you can see it in the frustration when he comes off the pitch, mate. It's not even a secret, is it, how frustrated he is? And
that's what I mean, yeah.
That it's not going for him. Corney, he's too lightweight at the minute. I mean, look at Lennon, right? He's lightweight. He bounces off players, but Corney doesn't. He struggles to stay on his feet.
Yeah, I agree with that. He does struggle to stay on his feet. And he don't win enough balls in the air, which is exactly what we need him to do. That's why I think he was dropped today, but I'd still have Jay and Vout up top. I think Jay and Vout up top would work better in that system as well. Would be more likely to score a goal, more likely to create better chances because Vout would come deep rather than Corney and Barnes just legging it and basically forcing him to hit it into the channels, which is exactly what happened. Comments coming in, little frustrated with Corney and Beghurst, says DJ. Wonder if that's his job. Yeah, that's pretty much what we're saying. McNeil's been fantastic recently, says a grumpy old man. He was responding to Barney. You know what? McNeil is good. He's been good and bad. He's been good and bad. I think today he played okay, but then there's stupid things that he does that only he does. Against Villa, didn't track his man and we conceded the second goal because of that. Today, 92nd minute, chance to whip the ball in, and he just fucking whips it straight at Lloris. He can frustrate me.
No, yeah, we struggle, mate. We're not a creative side at the minute, and it's a frustration that I have because Brownhill obviously gets a lot of praise off the Burnley fans, and rightly so if you're talking about work ethic. However, he's our creative source, and it doesn't seem to be because it's not Jack Court. Let's be honest, Jack Court's there to sort of sweep it up at the back, but Brownhill's not creating. Dwight McNeil's struggling. I mean, that delivery in on that free kick that you just mentioned. So it is difficult. But then, are we being too harsh on the midfield there when we look at the way that the strikers are not running in behind? I mean, how many times did we say today when we watched the match about a header being flicked on by Barnes and Cornet not being in behind, things like that? There's just no telepathy. Yeah. They're not telepathic anyway. Have they scored?
Brighton have fucking scored! Get in there! Yes!
Oh, we've got a delay. It's not on. They've not scored on ours yet, but it's
they've not scored on my TV. They've only scored on here. So unless it's been disallowed, get it. Honestly, I'll say the same as what I said earlier. I said it in the pre-game show. The Leeds game is more important to our season than our own game today. Them losing is more important than us winning that game. They need to lose that game. I've got it on the
telly now. Danny Welbeck shrugs off the defender, does a dink over the top of Meslier. Meslier comes out to narrow the angle. He had no right to score it. It is a perfect finish. No reason to disallow it. He's too strong for the defender. He jinks inside, but then takes it back outside and dinks it over the Russian keeper.
Leeds are falling. I'm not going to sing that actually yet. They could end up fucking dicking and 4-1, and I was like a dick. I honestly, if someone said to me this morning, will you take now a defeat at Tottenham, but Leeds also lose? I'd have ripped your hand off. I would have ripped your hand off.
Yeah. I think just looking there at one of the comments of the reason these players play for Burnley and it's the quality is hit and miss. Now, I wouldn't agree with that. I think that any player in the Premier League should be of a quality to play simple balls, make right decisions, know where they should be standing, etc. I do not think that you could say that they're not good enough to be at a certain standard or they're hit and miss. I think that's wrong because top championship players still do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I was going to say, I know what he's trying to say. I think you've took it as, oh, well, they're obviously not good enough. But I think it's players obviously play for Burnley and not Man United because they're all of a certain quality. But you can have players playing for Burnley who are good enough anyway. So we should be able to find these players that are good enough at the top end championship. But the problem is, and we said it on a few times, that when Villa and Leeds came up and they started buying the best team, the best players in the championship, that was our thing. That was always our thing. Look at it, we signed Vidra, who was the leading goal scorer in the championship. Andre Gray, leading goal scorer in the championship. Someone else before that or in between that, I can't remember, leading goal scorer in the championship. Then all of a sudden, Villa come up, they're buying Buendia and Watkins, and we're just like, oh, we wanted them. And we've been kind of like forced to just pick up the scraps. But thankfully now Villa have a bit of money and they're pushing on a bit, so maybe we'll be able to pick that scrap up. But of course, the one main thing we haven't spoken about, me and you have spoken about it, of course. You know what, I'm going to get that off for now because this show isn't about Leeds, it's about Burnley. I do need to update that thing. But let's talk about the penalty, because I know you, and you know what, I do agree with you. I'm just very cross at it. But it's soft, but it is a pen, is what you're saying, correct?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, the letter of the law says it's a penalty, but let's be honest, it's not a penalty because it's not even interfering with the play. It's not even a shot on target. It's going for a goal kick. It's an advantage.
Exactly that. I agree. By the letter of the law, because his arm's in an unnatural position, it's a pen. But that law's fucking stupid. Why does that law exist? And my argument is always this. Morning, Graham, by the way. I've just put it. Oh, by the way, there's a lot of chats coming in. One thing I will say is we now have super chats. So if anyone's feeling generous, send us a super chat. But yeah, Jimmy, that's my argument. Proximity. Apparently that doesn't matter anymore. Thank you. If they're in close proximity, it doesn't matter if their arm's in a natural position. That is a letter of the law now, apparently. But that law's fucking stupid. That's never a penalty. Even Michael Owen at half time was saying, "Oh no way." I don't know why he didn't talk like that. But it's for me. Do we get that penalty at the other end?
No, but I was gonna do some banter that I couldn't be asked. I was super chatting, and then I was gonna put follow at, and then I thought, no, I'm on the other day.
If you pay £20, you can do what you want, mate.
Not only joking. Because I did it on a Newcastle one when I posted Target's haircut. I put a super chat on there, so they had to say to see Chris Wood's haircut on my profile sort of thing, and they were like, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, what we're going to say, sorry, mate, I'm wows off there because I was laughing at my own jokes.
Does that penalty get given up the other end? Kurtz
No,
agrees,
absolutely
no.
not.
Fly over,
Absolutely
Fred says
not.
no. There is no chance. So it's all well and good saying it's soft, and I agree with you, it is soft. It's all well and good saying that, but there is no way that we get it. So that's what annoys me about the Premier League. And I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I want to get relegated, because I don't. But there's no way we get that pen at the other end.
No, 100%, mate. And I also think that the referee, he almost didn't want to give it, but then enjoyed the sort of showmanship of it, because he went over, he watched it, he's like, well, I'm going to have to give it then, aren't I? And then, like the token gesture of a free kick here and there at the end in the last minute, he booked Lloris to me, it wasn't even time wasting. I don't even think the Burnley fans were booing Lloris at that point. It was almost like the referee you know when referees do something wrong, so then they give you a penalty as well. It's almost like he wanted that opportunity, in my opinion, because it was that ridiculous.
Yeah, I put something on screen then. I don't think it's Barnes' fault, because I've re-put down something that Jake's put on screen about Barnes being a little bit off balance, because he had a bit of a tussle. People saying he's pushed, and it's just Barnes is tussling as well, so I'm not going to sit here and say it's a push. But he was off balance, and then that's why I feel like his arms are there. Again, it's unnatural unless you're trying to get your balance back, which he was. But I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and slag Barnsley off for it like some people are. I don't think it's Barnes' fault. Just one of them things. But I agree with Simon. I think it, by the letter of the law, it's a penalty. But that law is fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It doesn't work in our favour, has it? I mean, I can't think of a time where a ball's going 10 foot over the crossbar and we've got a decision for a penalty. I can't think of anyone in the Premier League that's even come out with that decision when the ball's not even going into play. But I suppose it's similar to them ones where, you know, when they overrun it and then they get clipped, so they take the opportunity to go down. I think I suppose it's a similar one to that, but it just feels like when you're at the bottom, these are the decisions that always seem to go against you.
Yeah, there's no way any team that isn't in the top six gets that at a top six stadium. But every single top six team would get that decision. That is the problem with the Premier League. You won't get that in the Championship. And I was going to say, oh, thankfully we might get some better refs next season, but Leeds is doing us a favour. Cheers, Leeds. He's looking. It's still. I'll bring it back in. I'm going to have to bring it back in. No,
don't bring it back in. Oh, it's a shot. Get it. Oh, he slipped, man. He went to shoot and slipped.
Well, it sounds like Brighton are having a lot of joy.
They're absolutely all over him. Wes is watching it. Wes, would you say Brighton's all over him? Absolutely battering him.
Cheers, Wes.
West Ham City. Oh, fucking hell. Got them on my bet.
No, West Ham are beating City. Can't have the bin dippers winning the league. Sorry to all the Liverpool fans that do watch this. But what was I saying? Yeah, that's it. I put Laura's comment on screen because Popey were getting some stick for the penalty. I agree. It's not. I think Popey's thought there's a lot of Panenkas these days. Kane does like to smash it down the middle sometimes. And Nick Pope knows him relatively well from England duty, so I think he's just trying to save a penalty, sort of like there in the middle, or hit his legs, or a Panenka. I said at the time, great effort, Nick. But I agree. I think he's chosen the middle. It could have gone either way.
If you watch the way he runs up to it, it was almost like he was just going to leather it, and he did leather it. Unfortunately, he leathered it in the most unsavable place on the fucking net near enough. It was. I think
even if he dives, he's not getting that for me.
No. Wes' comment are Leeds.
I'm going to say I can't hear Wes when he's talking.
He's watching the match. Sorry, his match reaction at the minute is Leeds are so poor.
They are though. They're fucking sharp and they're capitulating. And I hope, if like I said, I would have 100% taken that. Us losing and them losing today. If someone said that will happen today, I would 100% taken it. So right now, I'm happy. But I would love it if Brighton were already 2-0 up, 3-0 up. That would put me at ease a little bit.
Well, I want to go back to an earlier comment, and I can't remember who's saying it. I'm just trying to look on your chat now. But someone said that do we deserve to go down? And I think that the Leeds are the perfect example of why we don't deserve to go down at the minute. I think personally there are three worse teams than us, and it doesn't matter whether they score lots of goals or not. They concede too many, and technically that makes them a worse team than us.
Yeah, 100%. The league table does not lie. Over a 38-game season, the cream always rises to the top and the shit drops to the bottom. 100% every single time. And if Leeds are below us in the league table, then they deserve to. That's how football works. That is how football works.
I also think that it's a perfect sort of example of why we got rid of Dash at the time we got rid of Dash, because if you look at the phrase that you've just used, the cream rises to the top, the shit floats to the bottom. We look at our league status and the positions that we've actually dropped year on year, and we're getting closer and closer to that drop zone. So it's something needed to change, and I think just sort of we're worth bringing that up when you brought that up.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Sean Barnes is in the chat. Afternoon, Sean. He says if Ashley had scored the one that hit the post, no one gives him shit for the pen. No, I don't think he should get shit for the pen anyway. I just think it's one of the things. Yes, he's on a natural position. He is off balance though. But it's one of them things. We've spoken briefly about the system, Simon. What do you want to do against Villa? Do we stick with 3-5-2 or do it? I guess it depends on Leeds was up today, doesn't it? I think if Leeds win, we have to go for it against Villa.
If Leeds get beat, which I don't want to taint it, but it genuinely looks like they've got no chance at the minute.
And if Leeds clip that bit up, save it for full time, please.
If Leeds get beat, which I hope they do, but their fans are buzzing for it. You should have heard the atmosphere at the beginning. We had the volume.
That's what, and I know we said it on the TikTok live, weren't we, when we were feeling it brave because not many people actually were watching it. But I'll say it now. That's what we don't have. We can't create the atmosphere that Goodison's created, that Ellen Rhodes created. And that's what, if Everton have been dragged over the line because of their atmosphere, let's face it. Our atmosphere has been decent recently, but it still doesn't compare to that. And that's what frustrates me. But I feel like the fans and the club, not just the fans, we both need to do more.
I think that. And I think that when you look at these teams that are creating atmosphere, look at Leicester the year that they won the league. It was by the club involving the fans. It was by encouraging them by saying, like a nominal thing like, here's a free pan. I mean, that to the club is nothing. Here's a free scarf. Here's a free thing. I'm not saying we want freebies. I'm just saying they were almost saying to the club, we need you. To the fans, we need you as much as you need us, so to speak.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere was generated because of the mutual respect that they have for each other. Leeds, the stadium just falls into that sort of cauldron, doesn't it, of an atmosphere. Yeah. It's incredible. Yeah. We don't have that. That being said, Crystal Palace don't have that, and they seem to create a great atmosphere in their stand.
Exactly. Crystal Palace can do it. Well, Crystal Palace, it wasn't great for years, was it? And all of a sudden, it started getting better and better and better. And now they have this
that thing, and that's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Now they have this. It's like not ultras, but like an ultras Palace section.
I agree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and exactly, Kurt. This is exactly what I'm on about. The atmosphere was decent against Villa, but as soon as it went 1-0 down, it was flat as a pancake. And yes, other fans can be guilty of that as well. But sometimes I just feel like we don't do enough. Like there's no tifos, there's no stuff like that. I wish we'd do more as a club and as fans. We should both come together.
Going back to your sort of comment of what would I do at Villa, I would play 5.
That was actually how they started. We digress a lot here on TurfCast.
We do. I like it.
So what are you doing? 5-3-2?
I'm definitely doing 5-3-2. I've never seen us look so solid this season.
Yeah.
Even though we'll not consider a penalty. Nick Pope made 2 saves. That's it, really. You mentioned it earlier about him getting man of the match, and BT Sport gave a losing player the man of the match. That is
I disagree with that man of the match. I would have given it a Burnley player because we can't not give it a Tottenham player. But we'll go into that when we're wrapping the stream up. It'll be soon.
Yeah.
But my issue with the system is, yes, it looks good. Yes, we're not going to concede in that system today against Son and Kane, by the way, 2 of the best players in the world and probably the best partnership in the world. We don't concede today if it isn't for that dodgy penalty. So I agree, but we just need more bats up front. Maybe this is a system we should use going forward, depending on who the new manager is, I guess, obviously, because I still don't want it to be Jackson, even if we do stay up. So maybe there's something we could do with a system going forward and then buy forwards that fit that system rather than buying sort of like square pegs, round holes, which it seems to be at the minute.
Also, yeah, and exactly, I agree with you. But the reason I think that this is like you just said, then Spurs are a Champions League chasing side. We nullified them to probably 4 shots where you think, shit, that we did well there. We dealt with that. The rest of them weren't really opportunities, in my opinion. They were half chances. And then you look at the fact that we got no Bart up top. There were 3 headers from set pieces that I feel like we must have done better with. We should have done better with. I think Collins had a couple. I think Cornet had one. I can't think back to him, but there was at least 2 or 3 that I think of. Actually, they're the chances that we used to take under Darcy. We were famous for having 2 shots on target, scoring 2 goals. That was what we were famous for, and we've not got that. We've not clicked up top this season, and it's because of the lack of fitness.
Yeah, I agree. We haven't clicked, even if it's pre-Woody or post-Woody, we've just not clicked up top all season. A lot of people say it's a creativity. I do feel that's part of it, but like you said, we never had much creativity. Exactly, we've never had much creativity. We just do better with the chances that we're getting. And like you said, Barnsley had a header today. There was a few bad decisions that were made today that weren't made before. But just checking the scores, it's still 1-0 to Brighton, Villa 0, Palace 0, Leeds 0, Brighton 1, Watford 1, Leicester 2, West Ham 1, Man City 0. I think the good thing is, I think they can lose that and still win the league. I think.
Yeah, I think the 6-goal difference, Wes said earlier. But so I would definitely play a 5 at the back, because going back to the game last week against Villa, they opened us up far too easy, mate. They were too easy for them. And away from home, it's going to be even easier if we do a 4-4-2 against that formation that Gerrard plays. Yeah. I personally think, is that the one who sends me all my things? Is that the same Vicky?
I think so. I was going to say, I think this is the Vicky that I was been slagging off on TikTok for ages. So I do apologise, Vicky, now that you actually found me. Giving Simon loads of stuff and not me.
So I personally think we have to set up to not get beat again, especially if Leeds result stays as it is.
Yeah, fair enough. Villa has scored apparently, but not according to my my flash score. So we'll see what happens there. Yes, it is that, Vicky, Simon. But moving on.
Vicky's commented on mine that saying it would be amazing if we could create an atmosphere like that. Yeah,
well, I agree, but I don't feel like we can. But like I said, I don't feel it's a club's fault. I don't feel like it's the fans' fault. I think, you know what? I won't name names, but somebody from the club messaged me last week before who do we play at home, Villa, and said, "Can you share this for us? I want you to share this. Try and get a song going for Val. It was that Veghorst on Fire, because we're going to play it before the game. We're going to play it on the surround system and stuff." So I was like, "Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll share it now and I'll retweet it tomorrow before the game and all that sort of stuff." They played it once, and I don't know what it's like where you are, but where I sit in the Jimmy Mackey, it's the same in the cricket field stand. The surround system's so shit, nobody can hear it.
No, yeah, I heard it. I must admit, I did hear it, but obviously I didn't realise what they were doing it for. I was like, "Oh, this is a good song," and I was just singing it. I didn't realise we were doing it for Val.
Yeah, well, we were at Norwich beating Wolves at Wolves. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on the game. There's a lot of people talking about the penalty. We've already spoken about that. It's one of them things. By the letter of the law, it's a penalty, but it's the most bullshit law in the world, and there's no way we get that at the other end. The system, we still want to play the same system next week at Villa, potentially, and then go from there. Leeds are losing. I'll quickly bring the Leeds game. Simon, actually, give us an update on the Leeds game, will you?
So McAllister just burst through the middle. The Argentinian that is named McAllister, the most Scottish-looking Argentinian I've ever seen, has just burst through the middle. He's had the chance. He's well onside. He's got through. It looks like the defender's going to bring it down for a penalty, but he rides the challenge and then lets the ball roll to an oncoming striker who misses the target by a good 3 foot. But honest to God, mate, it was either a penalty or a goal in my opinion, and it were neither in the end.
Yeah, well, even Jimmy in the chat saying Brighton should have at least 3 goals. I've not watched much of it. I just keep looking over there, to be honest.
It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal how much of this game is being played in the league. I've not looked up once and seen it in the Brighton's defence, apart from right now. And then that's come from a goal kick, and they've got a goal kick.
Yeah, but a lot of people saying the sound system at the turf is shy. But this is what I mean. Like, at least they could try to do something, but the facilities that they have weren't enough. So I feel like, at least they're trying to do something, but we need to go. Apparently, according to Jake, Merson says Leeds are shocking, and thankfully, but that's all well and good. I could easily see a Leeds fucking shithousing a goal. We're at the half an hour mark. Obviously, me and Simon are going out for a meal later on, so we do need to not take too long. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll move this into the man of the match vote. Quickly get your comments in below. Who you think the man of the match is? If someone wants to send a super chat, before we go, feel free. Your man of the match, though, Simon, because obviously BT and the Premier League feed that I was watching gave it to Nick Pope. And yes, he made a couple of good saves. and stopped us from getting beat 3-0. But that to me suggests that they felt it was all Spurs, which I don't really feel like it was. But they only had to make the 2 saves, and they were 2 decent saves, but not 2 world-class saves. So I'm not giving it, Paul. Who are you giving it to?
It's difficult because I'd like to hear yours because I might change my mind, but I'm literally non-decided on an actual man of the match. But I think it's almost hard to say.
I'll give you a clue. Mine is.
Go on.
If you look up Rolls Royce in the dictionary, there's a picture of this defender next to that word.
Well, I agree. He played well. I think that Nick Pope's kept us in the game.
By the way, in case people didn't get it.
I agree. He played very well, but I think I'm going to stick with Nick Pope. I just think we wouldn't be in the game if it weren't for them 2 saves. And as much as Collins played really well, I'd say fair enough. I'll stay with Nick Pope.
Yeah, fair enough. Most people are going Collins. A couple for Pope. Nobody else really did anything really. Just before I do wrap up though, because this has always been a bit of a controversial opinion. Where's it gone now? DJ, opinions on drums get the atmosphere going. Most Burnley fans hate drums, and I don't know why. I don't know. I don't see the problem with it. As long as you don't overuse it, just go do all the way through the game. I don't see the problem with it.
Do you know what I miss? Back in the day, right? Where I sound like old men now. When we used to go on and you'd be in Division 2, Division 1, then Championship, whatever you want to call it, and we used to bang on corners on the back of the Jimmy Mack stand and the thing like that. It's the same thing. We used to go like, and it was like, and then it's like, come on, actually, we've got a corner, let's get it. It almost reminds you to get excited about the simple things.
Yeah. How was long today? Your opinion on long before we wrap up?
Do you know what? I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it to you. I almost preferred Lawton at centre half.
He didn't do anything that wrong. There was one incident where he got turned too easily. But I don't know. He just don't fill me with confidence. I
just think when we don't create much, and I've noticed that we want to try and drive out with the defenders at the back, I think I'd rather have a ball playing centre half, and we ain't got any of them other than Tarky, and he's not available, so why not Lawton?
Yeah, I agree. If we're going to play the system of 5 at the back, say if me comes back, I'd have me, Collins, and Louts. Lawton played well there today. He got took off, and I thought that was harsh.
I think it was just a shift in change in formation. I don't. Oh, Leeds nearly scored. I think it was a shift.
Do that to me, Wesley. I just heard him go. Oh,
I think it was a change in formation. I don't think it was a reflection on how Lawton's played. I think, to be fair, I still think that Lawton is defensively better than Roberts. But I do
you know what? Kurt sums it up perfectly here. Long didn't do anything wrong. Just looks to what he is, 4th choice, because he's just not as good as the rest of them, is he? He's just not as good.
I can't say that better than myself, and I think that's what I refer to about if you're going to play this different system, then maybe there's other options that we've never looked at before. Maybe even drop it. I don't even care if you drop Jack Cork back who can drive out with it. I wouldn't have ever said Lawton could play there, but he did very well today.
Yeah, well, that's it. I know everyone. The reason why I want to do this quickly is because, like I said, we're going out for a meal later. We're going out at 4, so I've only got like an hour to get ready. I need to go to Tesco, so it's madness. I know everybody wants to watch a Leeds match. Nobody wants to watch me and Simon, by the way, gassing. Everybody wants to watch a Leeds match. So, we do well now here on TurfCast. Now we've got 1,000 subscribers. So no super chats though. So come on, viewers. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you everybody for watching. Just before I do wrap up, just quickly answer this question from Brian Bredonde. He says, anyone know if we have a buyback on Jimmy Don? No,
but QPR aren't even playing him every game. So
yeah, you know what? There's been a lot of comments about it. There's been a lot of comments about, well, have we let him go? It annoys me. We didn't let him go. We offered him a new contract. We wanted him to stay. He wanted to leave.
These are the same people that will probably say, why did Josh Benson go for only £1 million and he hadn't even played in the Barnsley relegated side?
Exactly. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching.
The people above us know what they're doing.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. I will do a 60-second review. I've just got a super chat from DJ. My first ever super chat. He's supposed to put a comment in there with it, DJ, so I can read it out. But thank you. Thank you very much, DJ.
Now it's monetized. Do I have to send contracts in?
You can send me an invoice at the end of every year for half a coffee every show.
Half a coffee. That's more than I've ever had. I'll have it.
Well, I'll get you a coffee at that meal later, mate. With DJ's generous donation. Thank you very much, DJ. You're my first ever super chat, by the way. So when this channel is massive and gets another 300 subs, because that's probably the best we can do, you'll always be the first ever. But thank you everybody for watching. I will do a 60-second review after the Leeds game. I'll probably be at that family meal, so maybe tonight. But I'll do a 60-second review out to include the Leeds game in the situation where we are. I'll tell you what, before we do leave, because Simon keeps interrupting me, I thought you wanted Liverpool to win the league.
I do, but not when I've got tenner on it.
I'm just going to quickly bring in, how do I do that now before I go? The league table, to see what this does to the league table. Can Liverpool still win the league? I don't think they can, even with this. Right, so where's the league table? There it is. So, Liverpool got 2 games left. City will only have 1. They've got Villa at home on the last day of the season of City. So if they win that, they've won the league. It's fine. It's fine. Everybody, it's fine. Liverpool won't win the league.
What's the goal difference?
A lot. Liverpool have... oh, no, it's not that.
It's only 5.
Yeah.
It's only 5. And Bristol Rovers have proved that anything is possible with goal difference.
No. Anyway, I keep saying goodbye to everybody. Yeah, that's it. Chris, Simon, just before we go, Chris Novak says, do you want 1% of my super chats all season, or would you like a coffee?
I think 1% would be less than a coffee. So
exactly that. We're not going to get that much, are we? You know what I mean? But thank you, DJ, for the super chat. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. If you are just tuning in now and you want to watch all of it, it stays on YouTube. You can watch it whenever you want. As soon as this live's finished, you can go back to the beginning, watch it all, and I will immediately, as soon as this live's ended, put a podcast out there for those of you for listening on the podcast. So thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.